You're watching the Heavy Metal Television Network. Forever free.
Hey everybody, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show and the Aftershocks podcast. And I know you want to see this next episode, but right before we do it, just want to remind you that if you have an Amazon device, whether it's a TV or a Fire Stick or Fire Cube or whatever it would be, a Fire Box if you're old school, make sure you add the CMSPN to it. Just look up CMS Podcast Network on your Amazon device. Add the channel, and you will get every episode of all 4 shows for free right there on your TV. Make us part of your TV viewing every single day and night, all right? It's the CMS Podcast Network, CMSPN.com, and it is now on Amazon. So get it, all right? All right, here's the episode you came to see. It is your Classic Metal Show right here on Heavy Metal Television. And joining us today to talk about, well, a lot of things. I would imagine we'll probably touch on Anthrax. We might touch on some Shadows Fall. And we're certainly going to touch on his new band that he's also working on called Living Wreckage. He is the current guitarist of Anthrax and the main guy, I guess, in Living Wreckage. He is Jon Donais. Jon, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's good to talk to you, man. And as we were saying before we got started, man, I met you guys when you guys were just babies, I guess, way back in the earliest of early days with Shadows Fall, man. And it's great.
Yeah, it must have been about 20 years or more.
Yeah, man. It's crazy how fast the time flies and how everybody's direction changes, man. But I gotta say, man, you were cool to me then. And it's cool to see that you have great gigs going on now. Obviously, the Anthrax gig is an awesome gig to have, as well as now you're out, kind of stretching your legs a little bit with your own thing. So why don't we start there with Living Wreckage, man, since I know you have some gigs coming up, and I know probably a lot of people don't know much about Living Wreckage yet. So talk a little bit about the genesis of that band.
So, the last Anthrax show for All Kings tour, that was in November of 2019.
Okay.
And I knew I was going to have quite a bit of time off. I didn't expect this much time off.
Sure.
But I knew I had a good chunk of time off. So I wanted to get back to doing something of my own again.
Okay.
It was been a while because the last Shadows Fall record was, I think, like 2013, and I'm just sitting on a pile of material.
Right.
So I got some friends together, guys I know, and started Living Wreckage. We have 3 songs that are out right now that people can check out.
Sure.
Just go on any platform you can find them, and then we're gonna have a record come out. I think spring of 2022, a full record. And hopefully we'll do some touring on it.
Sure. Now, when you say you have a record coming out, is there a record company behind it, or are you guys going to put it out yourself, or how are you going to leverage it?
There's a label called M Theory.
Okay.
And Marco Barbieri owns it, and he was the president of Century Media the whole time that Shadows Fall was there. So Matt and I already have a working relationship with him. Okay. So we felt very comfortable working with him. He's going to put out this record, and we'll see what happens.
Sure, no doubt. And interesting about Marco is Marco, in the time that Marco was at Century, probably him and Monty Connor, the 2 biggest guys, in the industry at finding new and solid metal bands back in that era. I mean, there's especially I was in the business at that time, obviously. And I just remember when a package would come to me with, 3 or 4 Century Media records in it, it didn't matter really what the name was on the cover. It was like, okay, this is going to be good because that guy had the ear, man. So
yeah,
cool to work with him.
He really helped build that label.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's cool that I didn't even know he was still doing it. So good on him. And
yeah, he runs a label out of Las Vegas, and it's called M Theory. So yeah, we're excited to get some stuff out there and for people to hear it.
Sure. Now how when you start a new band like this, I mean, I know a ton of musicians, and you start something new and it's your baby, and you know, you love everything you're doing and you want to put everything into it, but you obviously have another gig and a big gig with the Anthrax gig. So I know right now it's not a time conflict, but do you worry that at some point it becomes where do I put my efforts gig?
I don't think so, because Anthrax is so established that, I don't think Living Wreckage is going to get in the way of that.
Sure.
Unless it's some crazy miracle, but I doubt that's ever going to happen. And if Living Wreckage does have some kind of shows in it, I'm going to go with Anthrax. Well, but sure. I got a guy who can fill in with me for Living Wreckage, so I'm not going to hold those guys up either. And they're cool with me getting a fill in, so it'll all work out.
Very cool. Now, who exactly is in Living Wreckage? Who are your band guys?
So it's Matt Bashan from Shadows Fall.
Okay,
he's in it too. So yeah, we knew once Shadows Fall kind of disbanded, we always knew we wanted to work together again. It was just Anthrax has kept me so busy that I didn't really get to it.
Sure.
So we finally got back together, and we have Jeff Gard on vocals. He was in a band called Death Ray Vision.
Okay.
With Mike D from Killswitch Engage.
Okay.
And then Matt LeBreton is on guitar. He was also in a band with Brian from Shadows Fall and Derek Kurzweil from Unearth.
Okay.
And then on drums, we have John Morency, who's in a band called Let Us Pray. So it's all kind of like somehow related to Shadows Fall somehow.
Right. It's that spider web of Shadows Fall. It must be Brian's hair.
Yeah, because our singer because Brian was in Death Ray Vision. Brian left, and then Jeff Gard from Living Wreckage took over for Brian.
Okay. Nice. Now, you know what? Since we're talking about Shadows Fall a little bit, man, one of those bands that I don't think got enough love. It seemed like you guys were certainly on the right path, and there were bands that got more love than that band. But if anything, the one thing that I used to love about Shadows Fall was the live shows. The records were cool, but the live shows were a different. To me, it was the biggest shortcoming maybe of Shadows Fall was that what you did on record was so much heavier live that it didn't translate, maybe as well. Why do you think that the band didn't take off bigger than it did?
I really have no idea. I mean, if I knew the answer, I would have certainly made sure it happened.
Right.
I don't know, man. It could be a million different things, It could have been maybe people not liking the record we went to when we went to Atlantic.
Right.
But, we came back with 2 heavier records after that. And a lot of, every band usually has a throwaway disc in their
right.
catalog. But then I really liked the last 2 records, but we just couldn't seem to gain traction again.
Yeah.
And,
Dude,
with that comes frustration. And then a couple of the guys got married, had kids, and didn't want to be on the road
right
all year. Because for us to get by, we had to be on the road all the time.
Right, sure.
And then by then we were just not even getting by. So really the Anthrax thing came at the perfect time. So yeah, I don't really know what happened. A lot of our peers kept going and got bigger.
Sure. It just seems like there was a collection of bands at that time that really and I could name them just off the top of my head. You guys, God Forbid, Unearth, bands that all had kind of a similar sound or style. Skin Lab, another big one, that just for whatever reason didn't get to make the jump. The Slipknots of the world went skyrocketed, and those bands didn't. And it just doesn't make sense because
Yeah, we were on the edge of that, and it felt like it could go there, and then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then from there, it went worse. We went the opposite way. We went straight fucking down.
Right. I hear you, man. Well, dude, once you got into Anthrax too, and certainly that's, you know, a historic band, you know, not just a great band, but a historic band. Once you see that kind of success and you get out there and you play in front of the Wacken, you know, shows in front of 100,000 people and whatnot, doesn't it make it hard to go and start something new again, like you're doing now with Living Wreckage, knowing that, you know, it might be 30 people in a club here and there until you know, when you're used to playing in front of 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people?
Well, I think it makes it easier because I can get that out with Anthrax. I can go play those big shows.
Okay.
And it feels great to play in front of thousands of people. But I just love playing, man. Whether there's 20 people there or 2,000, I love playing guitar and I love playing live. That's what I live for. So no, I love doing what Living Wreckage does, and I just have a good time.
Sure, no question, man. Well, and now, you know, with Living Wreckage, you're getting ready to go out and play, what, 7, 8 shows, you know, with the band. I'm assuming this is your first time to actually, maybe not to play, but to actually take it out on the road. Is that correct?
Well, we're doing weekend warrior stuff, you know, no tours. So we're just playing kind of not too far from our house, you know, where we live, you know, a couple hours here. Maybe the longest one we've done is like 3.5 hours. So we're just kind of hovering our area and trying to build up a fan base locally right now.
Okay. So you're almost treating it like a local band as such for now, anyway.
That's exactly what it is. It's a local band, and what we also do is we do covers. So we play bars. So if we do a 2-hour set, we're doing a bunch of covers like Alice in Chains, Pantera, Guns N' Roses, stuff like that. And then we sprinkle in our originals too. So people who are at the bar, it's not just like they're going to see Living Wreckage. They're there to hang out and drink, and we just happen to be the entertainment. So then we sprinkle in some originals and try to hopefully win people over with our originals too. Sure,
no question. Now, is there merch that people can get at the shows? I mean, are there shirts or is there music?
Yeah, we have an EP that we sell at the show.
Okay,
and then we have merchandise, shirts, stickers, sweatshirts, all that stuff.
Okay, cool. Can people buy that stuff online as well, or?
Not yet. We haven't made that jump, but we will soon.
Okay, very cool, man. Well,
yeah, we're taking baby steps right now. So, like you said, it still is absolutely. We're just a local band, you know.
Sure, dude, it's weird. The guitarist of Anthrax said, "Yeah, I'm just in a local band." You know, it's something, man. Well, dude, I've seen you several times with Anthrax, obviously, and with Shadows Fall, and more than with Shadows Fall, with Anthrax, you're kind of like the quiet guy on stage. You know, you kind of stay on your side of the stage and you let Scott run crazy as he does. Are you comfortable being that kind of quiet guy? Because, you know, again, I can only base it from seeing you in Shadows Fall. You were a lot more, you know, in people's face in Shadows Fall than you are with Anthrax.
Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable now, but at first I was like, you know, just like the new guy and not trying to like get in anybody's way.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to see the new guy showboating up there.
Right. No question, man. Now, obviously the last 2 records for Anthrax have been very well received with Joey coming back to the band and they're so strong, man. I'm assuming there's new music being worked on, you know, without getting too into that. How does what's being worked on compare to what we've heard the last 2 records or so?
I haven't heard any music yet, so I couldn't tell.
Oh,
you.
Really?
Yeah. But I know they recently got together. Those guys recently got together and we're working on it. So I'm anxious to hear it. I can't wait to hear it.
Sure. So you're not actually actively, you know, writing or anything with them?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, that makes no sense to me because you're out there playing with them all the time. But you know,
yeah, all bands work different, man. They have a way that's worked, and you know they've been strong 40-year career, so it's not broken.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it.
And you ain't rocking that boat, right? Very good, man. Well, dude, I'll tell you what, man. Tell people where we should send them to check out Living Wreckage and, maybe hear samples and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to hear Living Wreckage, go to Bandcamp. We have a 3-song EP out right now. There's 2 songs on all the platforms. We have a couple videos on YouTube. Okay. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, so all that stuff. And if you're in the New England area, look at some dates, and hopefully spring we'll have a record out, and maybe we'll be able to tour.
Absolutely, man. Well, it'll be good to see you guys. One other quick question. Obviously, COVID has changed everything. How does that affect going out now, man? Do you worry about it? Are you just like, I got to do what I got to do? How do you approach that?
I stay safe, man. I still wear the mask when I go out and in public places where there's large crowds. And I just still going and playing. It's the only thing I can do to keep myself out there and then keep a roof over my head.
Right. Yeah. It's better than the cubicle, right?
Yeah.
I hear you, man. Well, dude.
But yeah, I have no idea. It's crazy, but it looks like things are starting to get better. The festivals have been cool, and
sure.
Anthrax has a tour, not anytime soon. Next year, we're going to Europe a year from now with Municipal Waste. But hopefully, it's still. I think it's still a little bit scary to tour because you don't know if someone gets it, man. That's a lot of money out the window.
Right. Well,
if you have to postpone shows and you still got to pay all of your overhead for buses and crew and stuff, you're losing money instead of making money. So that doesn't make any sense. It's a gamble.
It is. It's funny. Literally an hour ago, I was talking to Tom Hunting from Exodus, and he really broke it down because I asked him about, they just postponed that Bay Area Strikes Back tour until next year. And I was asking him about it, and he really broke it down. And I don't think even fans understand how much money is at stake to where, unless you have Rolling Stones or Metallica type money,
right?
It's not an affordable type thing when you start talking about flights and advances having to be refunded. And now some of the venues have like those crazy advance rules and merch that you've put for shirts, that say these dates.
That's a lot of money you have to put up front for a tour. And a lot of times, you got to, sometimes tour buses, you can't get a refund for stuff. A lot of things aren't refundable.
Right.
So it's, I mean, we all want to go out there so bad, but we can't lose money either.
Well, yeah. Well, and especially after losing money, after making no money for a year and a half.
Exactly.
You really can't afford to come back $50,000 or $100,000 in the hole after already losing.
I was telling myself, I'm like, man, I'm a fucking idiot because during all this COVID time, I should have went back to school. And what do? I start a new fucking band. Stupid.
I don't think it's that stupid. You're a guitar player. What are you going to do? Go and, be a technician or something?
I don't know. I mean, that's around the corner,
Yeah, I think you'll be okay, man.
I hope so, man. It's getting scary.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, dude, one thing that's not scary is Living Wreckage. New shows coming literally, next week? Next week you're out there, right?
Actually, we got a show Tuesday with Buck Cherry in New Bedford, Mass.
Very good, man. And those shows run from November to the first week of December. And then new shows will be coming after that. And obviously Anthrax, like you said, you're going to be touring there as well. So looks like you'll be busy, man. Looks like you don't have to be a tech just yet.
I hope not.
Very good, man. Well, one more time, Living Wreckage. Go check it out. It is Jon Donais and company. And Jon, thanks so much for joining us here on the Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neely and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job!
Ditch the dish. Cut the cable. Forget your password. Heavy Metal Television is on.